Tata Consultancy Services that has seen large-scale resignations by women as work from home ended. TCS's policy to end work from home has pushed several women to resignation. TCS says that they've seen higher resignations by women than by men after they ended work from home, which is unusual, as in the past, the rate of resignations by men and women for TCS has been similar. So what's really the reason behind this? As of course you might think as well, TCS also in its annual report said that working from home during the pandemic reset the domestic arrangements for some women. So they got engaged with that, and that made them not return to work when work from office began. But this is extremely concerning for the world's most populous nation, India, in which close to half of the population is female. Well, already India's female labour force participation is among the lowest compared to its peers. You might be surprised to know that the labour force participation for females is higher for countries such as Bangladesh and Pakistan as well, if you compare them with India. Whereas these countries rank lower compared to India in several parameters, we are lower than them when you compare female labour force participation. India's female workforce participation is 24%, while you can see the world average is much higher at 47%. That's an extremely staggering figure. Now, these resignations and these figures that we're seeing on our screens, they raise important questions. Should work from home or hybrid models become the norm in 2023 and for the years to come? To ensure that women can work along with their responsibilities at home that society has imposed on them, should we end the concept of compulsory work from office? One side, such as the TCS, says that collaboration, team building and mentorship and employee engagement all have been badly affected due to work from home, and that's why they don't want to go back to it. But is it all bad? Not really. A study by Stanford says that performance of employees during work from home actually increased by 13%. Their performance was 13% better when you compare it to work from office. So there are two sides to the same coin. One says that work from home doesn't really affect your performance, your productivity. So why do we really need to make work from office compulsory? But the other side says that there are several factors that say that work from office is important. So to understand this even further and whether this is a trend that is concerning, we have guests joining us on the broadcast. We have Urvashi Verma, the head of talent acquisition at Expery APAC. We also have Sumit Sabharwal, the CEO of TLHR Tech. And we also have Jayant Krishna, the former principal consultant at TCS and former CEO of NSDC Skill India Mission, who's also an employment expert. Well, let me first start with you, Mr. Jayant Krishna. We are seeing that this has been officially announced by Tata Consultancy Services that women are resigning more than men. But is it a trend that we could see in several other firms that could have been happening unofficially?
See, one thing, let me clarify. I can't officially talk on behalf of TCS any longer. But the fact is, TCS has been at the forefront of several diversity and inclusion practices. They under the umbrella of DAWN, as they used to call it, and there used to be a very unusual connect with women, and that made sure that their participation in the TCS workforce went up to more than 1/3, and if I have the right data, it went up to even 36%. And it being an equal opportunity employer, TCS and as well as other major large IT companies in the country. So the fact is, during pandemic, when work from home was allowed, yes, even though there may not have been any significant fall in productivity, but the fact is the way software development life cycle is, the business analysis people, the IT architects, the design people, the programmers, the testers, all these people have to work as a team. So I think the collaborative work and the work takes a toss when there are extended spells of work from home. And also, I think one thing which people lose sight of, how do you create something called a corporate culture? How do you create a team spirit and team culture if you're working from home? While technically for certain jobs, productivity while working from home may not take a hit. But the fact is, you have to have the collaboration quotient as well as the teamwork. It becomes far better if people work from home. So, you know, when...
Mr. Jayant, that's something that's been pointed out by TCS officially as well. But we really need to sort out our priorities here, right? Do we... does it matter that employee engagement needs to be our top priority? But on the other side, we're seeing that while we're prioritizing this, our women are leaving the workforce. So don't we need to prioritize our women staying in the workforce against these priorities of employee engagement and the like? Mr. Sumit Sabharwal, if I can come to you on that question, that do we have our priorities set right? And whether this is a trend, you being from HR Tech, you must have seen how the trend has been for several other firms as well. So are women resigning more in other firms as well? TCS has officially said it, but is this trend happening across firms?
Sure. I think it's very important to maintain the workplace diversity, especially when it comes to the right gender mix at the workplace. So what we are seeing is that when the organizations went into a sudden halt and work from home became a very necessity, then certainly it was very difficult for everyone, whether it's a male or a female, to actually adjust to work from home because of the different constraints. Now, when they are set into a certain way of working, getting back require a gradual step-by-step shift, and that is causing a bit of a change management on behalf of both the employees as well as the employers. So there is a resistance, but when we are seeing that the employers who are handling it in a better way, in a way in which they are gradually moving towards a complete work from office, are seeing lesser attrition than the employers who are just mandating that everyone has to report to work almost on an immediate basis.
Right. And Urvashi Verma, if I can also come to you next. We've seen that the female labor force participation in our country is among the lowest if you compare it with other comparable countries, even with countries that fall below us in other economic parameters. And that's extremely concerning. So do you think to ensure that the rate doesn't go down even further, we need to make hybrid models a norm, and we need to give our women the option for work from home so that they can manage the two together?
Yeah, so in last many years, we have seen the working model evolving, and this pandemic season has basically given us a chance to drastically move to a work from home facility where all the organizations were happy to accept the changes because there was no other option. But now, as we have option where we want to work from office or work from home, there is a debate. Yes, definitely women have different challenges. Women have to manage work at home and combat the gender biasness in office at workplaces. So there is different challenges. Now we have challenges. If I talk about work, there is a travel challenge. Then there is a availability of facilities at workplace, facility of proper internet, childcare and elderly care, all those facilities. Plus at home also we have different responsibilities which we have to cater. Definitely work is not only for necessary for survival now. Now it is being taken as innovation or doing new things, how we are seeing our future. So with this environment, definitely women are getting more and more opportunities to to be productive. And as you initially said that during the work from home scenario, women performance got increased by 13%, which is a clear-cut indication that women were definitely committed. And definitely hybrid model is giving us opportunity to collaborate, plus giving flexibility to women to be productive.
Right, and you very rightly mentioned that hybrid models, we're not saying that completely make it work from home and don't have work from offices, but at least give women that option. Shouldn't that be the case, Mr. Jayant? As we've discussed that, even though it's 2023, we talk about gender equality and we say that in many fronts, women and men are equal, but we have to agree that society puts some responsibilities domestically for women, which they're unable to manage with work. And that's why with work from home, several women could start working while staying at home, while fulfilling the responsibilities that they've been unfairly expected to fulfill. So do you think, like we've had maternity leaves, like we've had specific policies for women to support them at work, this should also be one to ensure that they don't quit?
See, I see this only as a temporary trend in a quarter or two, when more work from office is expected. The pandemic, the fact is in our society that we live in, women have more than their fair share of domestic responsibilities, and pandemic and the work from home gave them an option, an alternative to do it seamlessly and do this kind of a work-life balance. So I think they will face this challenge much more than men, and that's a reason because of slightly higher attrition amongst women as compared to men. But I think it's a matter of time. I'm sure organizations, as they move forward, would give a little more flexibility. But where I am not too much in favor of too much of a differential in the policies for men and women, that may not be the right step. But little more flexibility, little more leeway, and little more gradual shift to work from office is something which would lead to normal attrition numbers within next few months. That's what I feel. I think the flexibility, little more flexibility from employer side, as well as I think women are very, very smart and at bouncing back and having that kind of a workforce balance, work-life balance, and it's just a temporary phenomenon. I'm sure the industry would tide it over.
So you're saying it's temporary. So, Mr. Sumit Sabharwal, if I can carry on with that point with you, if it's a temporary trend, you think that when work from office permanently begins, then this trend could go down, and then women will have no option, so they will start coming back to office. And along with that, I also want to hear from you that it's 2023 and we've seen so many companies that don't even exist physically. So many companies exist only via work from home. They don't have physical offices and they have all their employees working from home. So when we've seen that much work can be done while working from home, then why are we hesitating so much from giving that option officially and making that an option for the future as well, even though the pandemic has ended?
Sure. So Priyanshi, very clearly, now complete work from office is a thing of the past.
Absolutely.
And when we are seeing the modern technology, like the HR technologies, which are promoting collaborative work, which is promoting the right productivity, the right engagement with the employees who are actually working from different geographies, leave alone work from home, but people are working across the globe, from Cat B cities, metros together. I think completely coming back to the office is probably not an option that many companies are taking. So I think with the right use of technology, where it gets the collaboration done between the employees, the right engagement, the right supervision, will actually lead to a much better productivity than forcing the employees to come to the office and working only within the four walls of the office. Because again, then you're not giving that kind of a flexibility, and also not giving that kind of a leeway for the employees to have a balanced work and life. So I think it's not going to be the back same again as it was pre-pandemic times, for sure,
right,
with the advent of technology. Yeah.
Right, that's exactly the point that we're making, that fully work from office has become a thing of the past, and we've seen that work from home gives you the same amount of productivity, gives you the same amount of work that you were expecting. So Urvashi Verma, we can sort of come to a middle ground here, right? Let's not say that work from home is the panacea and that should be applied in all organizations, and let's also not say that work from office is the best and we need to get back to it since the pandemic has ended. But do you think there should be a middle ground? As we've also discussed that work from office is important for employee engagement as well. And even Mr. Rishad Premji from TCS has repeatedly talked about the office culture that he wants to see in his office with people returning to office. So do you think we need to prioritize women being in the workforce against the quote-unquote office culture a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. As Jen said that, women are very smart. And as Sumit said that there is a need of collaboration. That is true. I agree with both of them. But a middle ground is definitely, from my opinion, is a hybrid work mode, because women are already, under pressure of a lot of biasness, and creating this work from office culture fully 5 days, 6 days, then it is going to add one more biases against women, that women cannot come to work, and that's why we will not be hiring them, which is, again, closing a door for them for an opportunity. So I would say definitely there should be a middle ground, which is helping all employees, not only women, but all employees, because men also have to support women who are working at their home, wives, sisters, mothers. So they also need some flexibility to support them at home so that they can go to work. And, they also need some flexibility so that, women can collaborate and put together things, bring out, values on the table. So definitely hybrid is something I think it is going to work in future.
So hybrid seems to be a good middle ground. And Urvashi, I want to give you the parting note for this discussion. And I want to ask you that you're an HR professional as well. So have you seen this trend in firms across the country outside of TCS as well? TCS has, of course, come out with it officially. But is this a concerning trend across several firms?
I would say, yes, this is a concerning trend. I, actively participate in a lot of diversity and equity inclusion kind of forums, and I hear a lot of initiatives taken from different organizations. But most of them, I observe that it's only a tick box kind of an activity. They just want to, tick box that I have done this activity this year.
But are more women resigning compared to men in other firms that you're seeing as well?
Yes, wherever there is no flexibility, because when we're talking to candidates, it's not only compensation what they are looking forward. They are looking forward for more work culture, values of the organization, employees, leadership. What is the thought process of leadership, openness in communication? Those are the things which, candidates are prioritizing when they are looking forward for more opportunities. So definitely they are lacking this in their current organization, and that's why they are looking forward. Compensation is something they know that they can earn if they, upskill themselves. But these values are definitely important for them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us on that discussion. And I think we all seem to agree on the point that there needs to be a middle ground. We can't fully emphasize on work from home or work from office, but to ensure that our female labor force stays in the workforce, we need to come to a hybrid model, giving women that flexibility to ensure they meet their domestic responsibilities, which society has put on them, along with their work. And this is required because in India, female labor force participation is abysmally low if you compare it with other countries as well. Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen.